So we got software catching a little bit of a bid this morning. IGV is obviously green on the back of Snowflake pumping in the after hours. So I think there's a bit of a dip buying opportunity in a certain few names. We just got to be careful with CRM. CRM is a pretty big component in IGV, and it is lagging right now quite a bit. But Snowflake pumping up software right now, uh, nicely. A little bit of escalations in the Middle East. We did see crude oil initially pop in the futures. It's still up 1.75%, but off of its highs. Right now, it is holding on to a key support level, but underneath that 4-hour support resistance zone. So right now, crude oil still looks a little bit soft. Crypto has been absolutely getting pummeled here. BTC now hitting a little bit of channel support. This is a big area for the Bitcoin bulls because if you lose this, we're going down to 65,000, 64,000. So that short off of that 200 moving average parallel channel has worked out like a charm. Natural gas did see a nice day yesterday. It did take a little bit of a pullback intraday, but it is green on the session, still trying to grind higher. All indices are red right now. You got some weakness across your semiconductors, but Microsoft is acting quite well. Meta obviously had that news yesterday that they're unveiling subscriptions. So that stock is getting a nice boost to the upside. Quite a few other names have reported today. Dollar Tree. Let's look at DLTR. That one's getting a big gap up this morning. DLTR is seeing a nice move, gapping up over the 200-day moving average. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come in at some point off of the highs. It'll probably get some profit taking, but very strong. Financial still looks somewhat weak. Today we did get drone stocks, guys. What a nice pump on drone stocks today. DPRO monster gap up, closing yesterday at the highs. It was up over at the high 15% in the pre-market. Same thing with Ondas. Ondas got a big breakout candle potentially forming. UMAC, what a move on UMAC as well, guys. New all-time highs in the pre-market for UMAC. And then Kratos. So again, we did sell our DPRO for about 38%. We were long. DPRO off of this 556 area down here before the breakout. Just took profits on those shares. I'm still long Kratos. Kratos is also another drone play. They have kind of a variety of defense-based services and products, but Kratos also getting a nice little bump up here on the back of the drone news, U.S. government. So I still like Kratos on the long side. I'm not looking to sell this one. This one I'm going to tuck away my portfolio for probably a year or two, or depending on how fast we rise. But a beautiful falling wedge pattern on the daily chart has caused Kratos to break out here. So there's a few software names that are looking quite bullish. ServiceNow is going to try to make an attempt at breaking out of this little inverted head and shoulders pattern. So that's looking pretty solid to chase on the long side. Stop loss would be basically losing the 7-day moving average, but it's looking nice. MSTR is down. Rocket Lab seeing some downside. Uranium taking a bit of a breather again. China stocks are mixed. Quantum's mixed, slightly down. Symbotic. So we thread the needle on this one, guys. We basically Symbotic is down sharply right now. Not sure what the news is. Just maintained as a buy, but that one's now coming back into another accumulation zone. Interesting. Tesla's still maintaining positive price action, looking pretty strong here on the daily chart. Very close to its next breakout leg on Tesla, guys. Very close. Hmm. Theme here is bull flag pattern on the daily chart. It's looking pretty solid. This is another software name that could catch a pretty significant bid here. Looks like it's on the precipice of breaking out. So I think software is a bit of a dip buy today. Wouldn't be surprised to see semis get faded. Oh, yeah, let's quickly take a peek at Marvell. Marvell also reported stock was pretty wild in the pre-market. It's been down, it's been up. Right now it is back up. Look at Marvell though. Fucking up, down, down, float back up. Wild stuff, man. So it's going to be some wonky price action. Interesting. We'll keep watching that one. So, but Nvidia getting a nice push off the lows. Marvell up 2, ServiceNow green. Micron, nice bounce. CRM draining. It's going to hurt your software. Microsoft still holding steady. SPY looking a little bit vulnerable. Nvidia making a nice move. ServiceNow getting clobbered right now. Sorry, CRM's getting clobbered. Microsoft really strong. S&P starting to roll over a touch here. IGV still acting somewhat well intraday. Microsoft looking pretty spicy this morning. S&P looking a little bit weak. You got this little bit of a wedge pattern on SPY that had a fake breakdown twice yesterday. Then a little bit of an attempt at a breakout. We'll see which way. I think that if we get a flush, if you get a breakout, you're going to pump. But if you break down this wedge, I think we're going to go to gap fill. Nokia's red again. UMAC up 45%. Sheesh. That's wild. Micron seeing a little bit of distribution. Software seeing a little bit more profit taking. Bitcoin still getting hammered right now. Lots of mixed price action in your software landscape. A lot of green, but a lot of red in some individual names. Adobe, Autodesk red, CRM struggling, Duolingo struggling, Hub struggling, Intuit struggling, but Mongo, Snow, Microsoft Now, Oracle, Palantir, all ripping. Team ripping. Natural gas, guys, making a big intraday push right now. Natural gas sweeping its pre-market high, breaking out with force back up 1.41%. Looks like it's going to take out yesterday's high pivot. Natural gas is ripping right now. Sheesh. S&P dropping like a rock. Here we go. Again, I did take full profits on DPRO 760. Natural gas new high of day. Look at some of the nat gas equities, guys. EQT, RRC, AR. They're probably arbitrage plays. Guys, I'm gonna dump my plug power $11 calls. I'm gonna dump, or sorry, $5 calls. I'm gonna sell my plug power because they're just the market's looking heavy here. Plug is green. I sold my plug power July calls, my plug power for about 40% gain. Plug still holding my September calls, but sold my plug power July calls. Just because the market's looking a little bit heavy here. Nvidia though, acting quite well. Nice buy side pressure continuing in Kratos. I like it. These drone stocks are still bouncing with force. Good to see. RTX making a nice move with Raytheon, so you're getting a pretty big buy program in your defense again, industrials. Crude oil and the natural gas guys are ripping. Both energy components are flying to the high side right now. Looks like market's going to break down here. CRM still pretty weak. on the session. Sheesh, CRM looks nasty. Micron still holding green or barely green. Nvidia is still holding strength here. Micron starting to come in now. We'll see if semis. IGV has rolled over to the dark side, guys. Software is falling now. Slug is up 3%. Still a nice mover. Software is coming in. IGV still trying to hold green. No, Nvidia is still trying to pump here. Marvell still green. ServiceNow still green, but coming in. Man, so a lot of the semis are being sold except for Nvidia. Nvidia right now is strong. Western Digital is still strong. Natural gas resource stocks look pretty good. Natural gas still pumping. Looking solid. AMD still green. Longo DB pushing. SPY looking nasty right now, guys. There's been a lot of consolidation in this range, so the move could be very big today. Should be. Kratos now up 12.15%. Natural gas still pumping. Natural gas, guys, is looking strong here. It's going right back up. Looks like it's going to take out that yesterday's high pivot. Very close. Marvell's still holding positive price here. Micron looking heavy though. Tesla's rolled over. Meta's negative. Amazon's negative. Microsoft and Nvidia are only mags that are green. AMD still holding steady. Netflix drilling. Financials are still trying to hold. IGV's still holding green, guys. Microsoft is still trying to break out here intraday. It's got a nice hourly candle. It's trying to go. CRM getting a nice bounce back. Semis are still being sold here. SOX is coming in pretty sharply again. Space stocks are under pressure. Nokia, guys, is still looking pretty weak today. Looking nasty. Look at Nokia, guys. That's drilling. Head and Shoulders has triggered on Nokia. Looking pretty good. SPY looks like it wants to break down. We'll see if it loses a support level. SPY is trying to hold some support here. CRM bullish reversal, guys. Software making a nice push higher here again. CRM and software, Microsoft are ripping. Software is definitely being accumulated on this dip. Are we going to go through the mass software rotation trade? Maybe. Maybe. Send another buy alert. Micron starting to roll over a little bit here. Right, so the semis are still being drained here, looking pretty weak across the board. IGV, Microsoft, CRM are all pumping IGV at the highs while SOX is at the lows. So you're seeing that big divergence trade between software guys today. Backing off a little bit. Intel's weak. AMD is starting to roll over. Here comes Micron to the downside. Lots of software still being bought, guys. IONQ, sorry, ServiceNow pumping. IGV, CRM making that bullish reversal. Semis are getting rocked this morning. Micron starting to roll heavy. AMD starting to get a sell signal. Broadcom AVGO looking weak. Nvidia still has that head and shoulders pattern, but it's holding steady. Wow, look at the reverse on CRM. What a stick and move. Stocks is still being drained, guys. It's going to probably hurt the whole market here. SOX is just melting pretty quickly. Crude oil also softening now. Kratos still looking so strong here, guys. Look at that fucking breakout on Kratos. Nice push. All these drone and defense companies are still ripping to the top side. UMAC seeing a little bit of a pullback. Ondas, big bounce on SPY there. So look at the divergence between SPY and Qs and SOX. SOX is draining pretty quickly here. Quite a few crude oil getting rocked again, guys. Rejecting pretty sharply off of its opening range levels. Wow. That's a nasty rejection there. Natural gas is still moving. to the top side. SPY still defending that wedge pattern. Save on indices. So IGV guys still testing its pre-market high. Microsoft looking like a one big fat green candle. I mean, up 2.43%, strongest stock right now. 422, pushing software higher. Healthcare's acting well today. Micron's still looking pretty weak, guys. There's a potential head and shoulders on the Micron's 15-minute chart. Hasn't triggered yet. It's coming up to the neckline right now. Again, keep Micron on watch. It's more important than arguably Nvidia due to the SOX ETF being so saturated with it. But if Micron triggers that head and shoulders, downside potential is about 832. So SOX right now is definitely being sold for software. Marvell looks like it's still going to roll over here to the downside. We'll watch that closely. If we look at SOX divided by IGV today, big rotation into software today. Intel looking pretty weak. Again, that's a Trump leading stock, so keep that one on watch as well. That one's coming in sharply. Software still seeing buy programs. So really the only aspect that's selling in your market today is your semiconductors. You got a little bit of distribution and consumer discretionary, real estate, industrials, materials, but IGV holding steady. Bitcoin still weak, silver, gold still weak. Interestingly enough to see gold and silver this week when yields and the dollar are kind of soft today. Kind of weird. We do have new home sales in 5 minutes, guys. Keep that in mind. That can move the dollar. We have seen building permits recently over the last week and a half come in strong. So new home sales in theory should follow that. Which means it could get a short-term pop in the US dollar and yields if that new home sales data comes in better than expectation. Forecast is 661K, so we'll see what happens. Actually, sorry, this morning's building permits came in a little bit light. It was last week's building permits that came in strong. So, interesting. IWM is draining here, down 0.75%. SPY is basically flat to negative. QQQ down 0.2. Apple, Microsoft, Meta still green. CRM now at 0.84%. ServiceNow now up 6% and moving. Micron catching a bit of a buy program. Oh shit. Where the fuck did I put that? Oops. Dropped my vitamin. All right. Have to get some more coffee too. Lots of software stocks still looking solid. Sammy's just won't catch a bid right now. And Kratos is a beast as well. That's looking spicy. So right now in the semiconductor land, you still got Nvidia, AMD green, Qualcomm's green, ARM is green. Pretty much everything else is red across the landscape. So Marvell's obviously holding steady as well. Hmm. SPY still holding steady. Kratos now up 14% and ripping, guys. KTOS wants that 50-day moving average. What a beast, man. What a beast. 50-day moving average 66.50. Beautiful falling wedge pattern breakout. Nice. Software still squeezing. IGV, Microsoft just pumping. Microsoft almost up 3% on the session. You can see stocks are still being drained here. Whoops. Looking at workday here, guys. WDAY still squeezing, breaking out intraday. PLTR looking solid. GoDaddy getting a buy program. Duolingo getting a buy program. Oracle pumping and jumping. IGV is the new leading indice today. We'll see. IGV is pumping this market up. Look at that move. What a breakout candle on software. Software now entering that gap window yet again. It's been rejected here 3 times. We'll see if it can finally get through that resistance. New low of day for SOXX. Keep in mind though, even with the powerful force in software, semis are still way, way, way heavier weightings, and they could still drag this market down. All right, new home sales is popping the dollar briefly here, guys. New home sales actually coming in lighter. 622K versus 661. Interesting to see the dollar still moving up off of that slightly. It's probably just because your energy markets, natural gas, crude oil are ripping. And keep your eyes on those nat gas equities, guys. They're catching nice buy programs. EQT, AR, RRC. They are all getting some accumulation signals. IGV up over 2%. Microsoft up 3.5%. Beast mode. News on Robinhood. Robinhood getting a nice couple 10-minute green candles. I don't know what that is. Interesting to see Bitcoin so weak here when software's running. That's quite peculiar. Very weird. Lots of Microsoft news all of a sudden hitting the tape here. Microsoft releasing a new coding model next week in a comeback attempt. Interesting. Robinhood launches its official Trump Accounts app, now available for download. Eligible children born 2025 through 2028 can receive 1,000 initial contribution from the U.S. Treasury. Boom. Does anyone know the stipulations around that? Like, can you sell? Can you trade those Robinhood, those Trump accounts? I'm not sure what that entails. Microsoft still one tough SOB pumping. Healthcare XLV today also seeing some nice positive price action. Looks like healthcare's close to a bit of a breakout. Service now up 7% going for a breakout as well. Interesting. Microsoft still at the highs. Natural gas, new high of day up 2.64% and moving. You got SoFi also trying to make it a little bit of an intraday push now. I like it. Go SoFi, go. Marvell starting to go negative. That's rolling over to the dark side. High volume candle there on that hourly chart. SPY still negative. SOX still looks like it's heavy, like it wants to go lower. IGV, small pullback in software, still above its pre-market high level. This first dip in IGV is probably going to get bought up, guys. So back test of like 94.30, 94 bucks, kind of your pre-market high zone is probably going to get bought up. Would not be surprised to see that. Remember, a lot of people are now underweight software, so we've seen the run that semis have gone on. Nokia, guys, new lows. Look at Nokia. All right, guys, I'm going to close my Nokia puts here. My NOK $15 puts. I am taking full profits. Closed Nokia puts, 118% gain. 118% gain on NOK $15 puts. It's quite crazy the resiliency in the S&P 500. They just don't want to take this market down. Lots of individual names rotating, moving, big directional moves, but it's pretty impressive that they want to keep these markets as buoyant as they are across the indices. That seems to be the algorithmic institutional trades, big rotation trends. Natural gas, holy moly, look at natural gas, guys. Look at that breakout. Taking out yesterday's high with force, baby. Our Boyle position that we just entered 2 days ago is moving. Look at that. Nice. We're already up double digits on our Boyle trade, guys. Yeah, that's acting very well. Again, natural gas is one of those energy commodities that could make a big move. Big squeeze quickly. Because it's undervalued and been underaccumulated, it's yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure. All right, your SOXX is getting a little bit of a buy program here. Intraday, still holding that 10-minute EMA like a champ. SPY's just stuck in a wedge pattern. IGV starting to see a little bit of downside rotation. SPY still full beast mode. Micron big bounce off of its neckline. Bit of a short zone here on SPY, guys. Stop loss would be kind of closing above this trend line or these high pivots here from yesterday. That is a short zone. Not a bad spot to enter some downside put options, guys. On SPY. Nasty rejection there on SPY. Nvidia starting to roll over. Micron though pumping. Microsoft still defending 424, previous little resistance zone. IGV still pulling back slightly. Holy smokes, crude oil dumping. Big pump there on the market, guys. What is that? Sheesh. Must be some war news, guys. There's definitely some war news. Crude oil now negative, down 2%. Market is flying to new highs there. Holy moly. What a monster candle. Sheesh. That was wild. Don't know what the news is yet, but it's obviously Iran, guys. Trump, US and Iran reach a deal, but they still need POTUS's approval. Interesting. Yeah, a deal between US and Iran, apparently. Apparently a deal between US and Iran, but they need Trump's approval. Markets had a stick and a half there. Holy moly. Yeah, this market's crazy, right? Headline driven with war. Headline driven, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna look to take a short. If we take out the 754, if we tap 754, I'm gonna take a SPY short. I'm gonna take a downside put for 750. I'm gonna take 750 puts if we take out that 754. It's gonna be light. I'm only gonna do about 5 contracts, maybe 10. It's a new all-time high for your S&P. Just can't stop this market. Super stretched yet again from the 7-day, but massive breakout candle there. Sheesh. Micron still coming in a little bit. Crude oil bouncing back. Microsoft going for a new high. SPY Qs are green. IWM about to go green. Crazy moves. Yeah, it's tough to trade when you get these news pops. You're either on the right side of that pop or completely wrong. There's really no middle ground there. Probably come out and say Iran will close. No, we haven't reached anything. Fake propaganda, US. Who the heck knows, right? This administration plays the news like fiddles. Micron still coming in. SOXX is trying to go green. Nvidia trying to break out and push. Microsoft new high of day. Yep, they do the fake news daily. Trump is a master at that, guys. It's wild, right? He doesn't want anyone making any money on the short side of this market. I'm actually looking at getting into a SPY short here, though. Very close. Microsoft, sheesh, up 4% here. Holy moly. Intel's still weak on the session. Financials really aren't doing much right now. QQQ hasn't taken out its high yet. Interesting. But SPY is just loving life. IWM. Man, what a dip buy on IWM if anyone bought that. That's wild. Micron's still looking pretty weak here, guys, coming in. AMD still strong. SOX is still negative, even with the big push to new highs in the S&P. Trump says he wants a few days to think about the deal, the proposal. I jumped into some SPY puts for tomorrow. SPY 1DT puts, 750s. Gonna keep a, what is that, about a 15% stop? Our yeah, previous all-time high pivot, back test. We'll see if SPY wants to hold. Micron's still coming in pretty sharply, guys. Looking heavy here. XLV is trying to break out today on the daily chart, looking spicy. I'm going to use my stops on XLV calls that were in. XLV, healthcare calls, 153 calls for September. I'm raising stops. We are nicely in profit, up quite significantly. Almost, we're about 75, 80% in profit. I'm just raising my stop, okay? But XLV looks solid. Look at that potential formation breakout here on healthcare above all the key daily chart moving averages, sweeping that high pivot, looking solid. Great. Joining the industrial party, guys. Looking pretty strong here, trying to get above that daily 200 moving average. Kratos still looking like a beast. Drone stocks are still holding steady. Microsoft taking a little bit of a breather. Software though, still holding steady as a whole. IGV near the highs, still above pre-market high. Natural gas still remaining super duper strong. Crude oil just basically went negative with that news drop. IWM still struggling on the session. SPY still holding steady. Crude oil trying to bounce off its prior day low. Natural gas going for a new high a day, up over 3%, just made a new high. Natural gas is still squeezing. Beautiful price action natural gas. Something is happening in the nat gas market off of these areas, acting extremely well. Beautiful move up. Natural gas is squeezing. Beautiful squeeze in natural gas, man. Look at this. Man, what a move. Our Boyle position is starting to rip. Interestingly enough, this EQT still doesn't want to firm up yet. Really wild. AR still lagging, so there's a lot of arbitrage here in setting up in these nat gas equities, guys. Lots of arbitrage. Micron's still trying to push higher. Microsoft's starting to come in a little bit. Hitting software again. Microsoft starting to get some profit taking. Intel still remains weak. JP Morgan weak. Netflix struggling. Gonna get some more coffee real quick, guys. Let's look at natural gas now, 4%. Squeeze it, baby. Our SPY puts are working quite nicely that we jumped into. We're starting to see Microsoft give up quite a bit of gains here. Semis, I think, should still retest the lows. Watching Micron here. Micron potential short off the 930 area. Stop loss would be the high of day. S&P still acting quite firmly here. Healthcare, guys, is still ripping. XLV strong. Nvidia starting to curl to the downside. IWM still getting drained right now. QQQ and SPY are still strong. Qs are your strongest indice for the time being. So yeah, I was just muted for a quick second there. All right, so we're still seeing natural gas pumping, crude oil back to the green side, but flat. Natural gas is just ripping. Software, IGV, Microsoft still remains pretty strong here. A little bit of distribution under the hood of the market. Indices are kind of just stuck right now for the most part. It still looks like the S&P may make one more. I don't know. We're at a tricky spot here, guys. I still think we're going to head down, but it really is going to be dependent on what these softwares do and semis do. That's about it. But I'm still looking. I'm still in these SPY puts for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Stops are in place. Some negative things. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin isn't really performing with the market is kind of interesting. Very weird. Very weird. Mhm. Industrials, healthcare still ripping. Raytheon, RTX, Kratos still ripping. Quantum stocks are now catching a decent bid. Tesla's gone green. Meta's back to the green side. Uranium's trying to get a little bit of a buy program. eVTOL stocks are trying to get a buy program. Really surprising price action still in these natural gas resource stocks, guys. I still think there's a huge arbitrage play there. I mean, nat gas up about 4%, while some of these equities are negative. Trump makes the US market like China market. Yeah, he there's really not much action in the S&P and Qs and Russell right now. They're kind of stuck. Obviously, that one news pop was a way to just blow out the short dated put options. But looks like we're gonna probably go back down again. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me to see us roll back over. Still have SOXX net negative. IGV is obviously still holding strength, holding its pre-market high, but CRM is starting to lose momentum here. It's still a big weighting. Microsoft's just off of its high. Nvidia looking heavy. Intel, I'm surprised Intel hasn't really performed. Intel's still dropping down 3%. Marvell has gone negative. That's looking weak. Still quite a bit of weakness under the hood of this market. And some of the leading names that we've seen push this market to new all-time highs. But look at natural gas, guys. If you're not long nat gas right now, woof, man, that thing looks squeezy. Yeah, they blow up the shorts. YS is saying they blow up the shorts, cause short squeeze, but no one dared to long enter. I know. Now there's talks that Iran hasn't accepted the deal, guys, so craziness. Natural gas new high of day up 4.24%. Poison market. Yeah, snake oil salesman market. I'm still in SPY puts, guys, for tomorrow. You know what I've noticed is they do not like paying out the zero DTEs on the put side. The call side has been crazy for zeros, but the put side zero DTEs have been smoked at every single turn. The only way that you seem to be making money on the put side is by swinging puts and then taking profits in the early morning because things get bought up. It's been a very tough market on the zero DT put side. I mean, granted, we're at all-time highs and just keep going higher and higher and higher. But there really hasn't been too many intraday pullbacks, big pullbacks like what we previously saw. Yeah, so the news headline that popped markets initially was that Iran agreed to that 60-day memorandum of understanding. MOU means fuck all. They could be bombing in an hour, 2 hours. Um, Trump did say he needs a few days, but now there's some Iranian news that apparently they haven't reached an agreement. And let's be clear, guys. The U.S., all countries have propaganda, but the strongest propaganda is from the U.S. They control um, most of the media, right? So just because most of us live in North America per se, they still control the majority of the mainstream media outlets. And Trump knows that. Here comes the theta burn. What the hell is going to happen? Here we go. YS I-24 News. Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei has not accepted a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. You see now, who the hell listens to the I-24 News? That's the big problem, right? Most people are listening to the big boys, the CNBCs, the Bloombergs, the Reuters, the BBCs. But most people in North America have no idea what the hell I-24 News is, right? But I appreciate you putting that in there. SoFi still looking decent here, up 2%. Software still holding steady. CRM getting a nice bounce off its opening range high. IGV looks like it's going to break out here, guys. IGV going for another high of day push. Microsoft still holding 425 up 3%. Nvidia looking a little bit fragile here. So majority of software is technically holding some support here. Pretty good. Micron still seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. We all know that. Oh yeah, I know. Trump's a crazy man. Ondas still up 17. Drone stocks are still loving life. Arcat, Ondas, pushing still. DPRO, Kratos still pushing. UMAC pushing. Space stocks are still under pressure. Saidu down 18.4%, but Rocket Labs is catching a bit of a bid. Ticker Mask up 240%. SPRC, jeez, up over 158%. That's crazy. Natural gas, new high of day. Pushing. She pushing, baby. Semis going green. Sheesh. Wild. Micron seeing a little bit more sell side pressure. We'll see if stocks get rejected here off of its pre-market high. IGV still up 2.1%. Natural gas now 4.53%. Bitcoin trying to get a little bit of a bid here. What's Axon doing? Wow, nice stick on Axon today. Sheesh. Looking electric pulling back a little bit. Boeing looking solid again. How's this mask doing? This mask is ridiculous. It's PRC. What's that doing? Hmm. Nike still making a nice push here. Sox is trying to get through pre-market high. Natural gas still squeezing, guys. Oof. Man, oh man. Trimmed half of my Kratos position, KTOS, for about 14.83%. Just trimmed half of my Kratos position. Still holding half the position, but just trimmed half. Beautiful, beautiful. This one now, off of this move, is you look for bullish consolidation over a couple days to a week and buy the dip. RTX still trying to break out here. Healthcare still looking interesting. Breakout on your semis as well. Sell pressure in IGV. Guys, I'm gonna grab some lunch here. Markets are kind of just holding all of their gains here. Probably gonna enter a bit of a chop fest. 11:30, you might see a bit of a dip off that London close. Sorry to hear that, Squawk Box. The news smoked you this morning. Yeah, it's a tough tape with these tape bombs, guys. Tough tape. Day trading has not been easy if you're trying to short. That's for sure. Look at these semis fucking ripping now too. Crazy. Take a look at this coal play, guys. Met C breaking out here. Very close. We're already long Met C. Ramaco Resources coal play. Gave you the thesis a couple days ago. Literally, we entered 2 days ago. We're up double digits now, so that one is working out quite well. Looking pretty spicy. Met C, Ramaco Resources. Strong as heck. Going for that downsloping trend line. And when you bust through that, you're going to bust through it with force. I think we're going to have a straight shot move to the daily 200 moving average, which is at 2138, which is still basically another 30% away. Just the coal thesis, right? With crude oil moving up, attaining higher prices. A lot of emerging market countries are switching to coal as a primary energy source. China's massive, massive coal producer and user. Looking good. Saying APPS still running? Yeah, the whole market's still strong. Trigger's going for another new high of day. Push. You're seeing now some accumulation in back into these equities, nat gas equities. RRC's green, AR firming up, EQT firming up. Lots of an arb trade there. Hmm. Micron seeing a little bit of selling. Nvidia did turn back to the green side. Still got weakness in Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Nvidia all green. AMD ripping though. Wow, AMD's a beast today. Hmm. Down here. Breakout on a firm, guys, too. The firm's looking squeezy. Wow. Guys, don't sleep on SoFi. Defending a double bottom here. Nice W formation potentially forming. SoFi is looking pretty juicy here, both on the equity and option side. It's trying to break out here. Starting to get squeezy intraday. Markets on steroids. Natural gas new high a day. This market's insane. IGV new high a day. SPY new all-time high. Sheesh. Intel turned green. Look at that reversal in Intel. Holy, down 3% to green. Crazy, man. Guys, I'm gonna take a SoFi Lotto for tomorrow. SoFi, $18 call. That's about 7% away from current level. They're 1 penny each. Again, Extreme Lotto, 1 penny each. SoFi, $18 call for tomorrow. Super, super extreme lotto, but I mean, a penny each. If they hit, they'll hit big, but size it for loss, of course, if you're going to play that. Natural gas now at 5.52%, guys, and ripping. Holy moly, nat gas is squeezy. Potential inverted head and shoulders on nat gas. Daily chart. This market's insane. Stocks is going right back up. Oh, fuck. I swear, these semis fucking. I hate them. I hate these semis. They just don't stay down. I really thought that we were going to get that software rotation to keep things going and semis are going to sell, but these semis are just fucking ridiculous, man. Still a crazy fucking bubble for semis, in my opinion, but that's just the fucking beast. My stocks position is destroyed. Everything else is fucking printing, man. All my other longs are fucking working out well, but socks, ugh, just disgusting. I hate looking at it. Such a thorn in my side. Nat gas is hitting a little bit of resistance. Yeah, snow is still leading the charge right now. And there's still a lot of aspects of software that are still pretty depressed valuation wise, so they could move higher. But I really thought stocks was going to fall here while software pumped. But once again, semis, you can't rally the market without semis, it appears. Plug power turning green. This market is just insane. I mean, if anyone looks at this rally on the S&P 500, I mean, holy fuck, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Flag on SPY, measure move to 765. I mean, yeah, I guess so. You have a little bit of a cup and handle formation on SPY here on the hourly. So yeah, this cup and handle breakout here is another 768-ish, give or take. But we are pretty stretched here. Trying to get back above its pre-market low. Still got Amazon Meta lagging here. Intel back to the negative side. Netflix still drilling. JP Morgan still sucking on the session. Marvell rolled over. SoFi new high a day up 4.45%. Who's trying to move higher here? WTI. You have natural gas just printed a new high up 5.68. Crude oil is also trying to bust through its pre-market low. It's grinding a little bit higher, up 0.9% again. So, yeah, you might get a little bit of a sell here in the S&P 500. But just what a resilient tape. Fucking just grinding day after day higher and higher and higher. Yes, I wouldn't short yet. They usually don't give you the intraday moves. I mean, you could get a tape bomb, but what I've noticed is you're barely getting any intraday sell-offs during this lunchtime hour. If you were to short, it's usually that last like 2 hours of the day. Other than that, I mean, shorting this market, you got to get lucky with some sort of a news announcement. Crude's still obviously struggling off of that news candle. It's green, but market doesn't give a shit about crude oil at 88 anymore. It's gotten used to it, it seems. But natural gas, I mean, that's another thing that if that starts to clear this high pivot, if it clears 341, just look at this natural gas pattern that is forming, guys. Again, you should be loading up calls on all these nat gas plays. Look at this daily inverted head and shoulders. If we break that, we got a 392 target, and then that gap fill that I'm eyeing up. But that's a beautiful pattern, guys. Look what else you're setting up here. Weekly 7 and 20 crossover. Bullish cross. SoFi new high day.